All right, guys, I have one here that I think is a little sneaky. Most of us know these exist, but for whatever reason, we haven't actually checked one out. Well, my friend Homer sent over his, and I have to say I'm glad he did, because for what you have here in front of you at the price points that they offer, I think is an insane offering if you are looking into the high quartz models. There's not a ton to choose from. There's definitely a market there, and a lot of them are way more money than this. And this one is definitely in that category, but much more affordable price. This is, of course, the Longines Conquest VHP, or very high precision. It has a really great quartz movement in it. It has a bunch of different features. I'm not going to get into the detail on that. I will show you in the owner's manual the specs on it, but there's already a ton of videos out there, and there are certainly other models. There's chronographs, there's different sizes. They say this is a 41. I actually measure it at like 40.8. I'll cover the measurements here in a moment, but they have a 36 millimeter. They even have a GMT model. At some point, I do want to check that one out. Not that I'm big into GMT, but that one is a easy to use if you're going to travel a lot. It has you can connect it to your phone, and you just a quick adjust on there. You don't even have to mess with the crown. Even adjusting it with the crown is easy. It has like these smart crowns on these. It's not screw down or anything like that. You can pop it out and you can re-zero, well, not re-zero, but you can re-zero your time and get it dead on. And then once you do that, you're pretty much all set. There are some other setups you can do, but once you get the timekeeping mode engaged, you are looking at a plus or minus 5 seconds annually per year. So if you're looking for a grab and go quartz, this is a really killer offer. And you can put it into a power save mode where it just kind of stops. It keeps time in the background, so you can get it, push the crown in, and boom, it'll just go to the right time. So it still keeps its time function in there. It just doesn't have the motors going, and because that drains the battery. Even if you leave it running all the time, I believe they call for about a 4-year battery life, and it'll have an end-of-life battery indicator, like a double tick or something like that. So it has a really nice screw-down case back, so you're going to be able to get that off, keep that gasket lubed up, and you're going to be able to keep your water resistance, which is, I think, 50 meter. Change out that battery, and you're going to be good to go. I'm not sure what battery it takes, but you can see solid end links there. We'll cover all that, but I definitely wanted to show off that case back. It's really smooth, it's comfortable on wrist, but it's a really good quality looking case back. So there's a ton of depth and cool things going on with the dial too, but let's talk about the case size real quick. I did measure it at 40.8 going across here, not including the crown guards or the crown, and so that's just under 41 technically, but 49.7 lug to lug. You can see there is no protrusion on that center articulating center end link lug there that folds flat. So adding to that comfort, you're still just a touch under the 50 mil, so you're good there. Thickness is a 12.2, which is, a little bit thinner would have been nice. I'm not going to lie, but it's not too thick at all. But I think part of it is they kept a really good weight to it. This feels like you would expect a really good high quality automatic watch of this caliber to weigh, and they did it with the quartz watch on it. So it has a really nice weight to it as well. So you're looking at a 20 mil lug width, and the bracelet tapers down to 18. You have a butterfly clasp, very simple and easy to use. You can close either side first, it doesn't really matter. Double push or release. And of course it is signed, and then it has their wing logo there. So let's take a closer look at the dial, because I have to be honest with you, I popped this guy on this morning, and I don't know if I can capture it. So like if you're off camber with it, you don't really see the circles that are what the dial really is. So when you're off camber with it or in low light, what you really see is almost like a pearl white dial. That's what I thought it had this morning, until I got in some really good solid natural light, and then those circles come to life with the dial. That's really what's happening there. So it gives it a really nice play to the dial. Excellent applied indices there with ton of lumen there. Going to have nice polished hands. There's no rough edges or anything like that. And you have the applied 12 and 6. Those are fully polished. Date cut out at the 3 o'clock, framed in, and then you have all the red printing around the perimeter, and then the VHP in a nice bold red. Also, the seconds hand is tipped in red, so it all ties together really good. So in low light, I mean, you can see in that shade right there, it almost looks black, you know, like the 12 and the 6 on the handset. But as soon as you get some reflection on it, then you see it's full polished. But contrasting with the really good white dial, this just is super legible pretty much in all lights. So you're not going to have any issue with legibility. There is a blue one, there's a black one, and stuff like that. But I have to say, I would easily, all day long, pick the white dial because it's super, super legible. The other ones, people have complained that the legibility is not super great. Sapphire crystal, a ton of anti-reflective coating on the underside. Of course, I probably have it smudged up. But look at the finishing, the brushing on this thing. It is superb. It looks like it's really nice, nicely done, but there's like no roughness or anything like that to it. It's very smooth and it's consistent across the whole flank of there. And then it's also on the top side. And then you have the nice polished bezel on the top side and a polished crown. So the brushing on this is just superb. Polished on the sides of the bracelet and then brushed all on the top. So this is easily going to be an everyday watch. So let me pop this on wrist for you real quick. I still am not insanely good with butterflies, but I would break my rule with the butterfly clasp for this watch. It is that good. And I know I kind of have a thing going with the quartz watches right now, but yeah, it really works on my 7¼ inch wrist. So, and I know Homer really liked this watch. I'm surprised that he's contemplating letting this go out of his collection, but I even like the pop of the green of the Lume applied on the indices and the hands. Gives some really good color play. You basically have kind of like 3 main colors. You have that, you know, the white, the red, and then that pop of green. I think it's a really nice tricolor application. So let me give you that Lume shot. Well, first let me, I know a lot of people like to see these watches next to a familiar face here. Here's the SKX next to it. You can see size-wise, not much different. So if you're wearing an SKX, no problem. You're easily going to be able to wear this Conquest. So if you're looking for a very, very high quality quartz watch, I don't think you're going to be able, especially because it's all Swiss made and everything, I don't think you're going to be able to beat it. Retail on it is $1,000. I'll put a link in the description to the Longines. If you looked on the, I don't know what they go for on the gray market, but if you look on the used market, you're going to probably save yourself $200-300, depending on condition or which version. But even at $1,000, I mean, go look at what else is out there on the really good high-end quartz timepieces out there. I don't know. I think it's a killer deal. And I know it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. $1,000 is still a lot of money. But in comparison to its rivals, I think it easily outperforms them. So that's just my opinion. You guys can argue down below as long as you keep it clean. There's the Lume. It would have been really cool, obviously, if they would have loomed out the 12 and the 6, but I like that they're full polished too, and it works really good with the dial, especially with the handset, where you're, you know, off-camera light, where it's going to look black. I think it looks really good. So I'm not mad about the Lume at all. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Big thanks to Homer for lending in, and I'll see you on the next video. So I got a little carried away with talking about the watch a bunch, and I forgot to share with you guys the user instruction. And this is just a really good, quick reference material here. You can see there's some information, different models and everything like that. So really good literature. And then there's some information again on the different movements. This is for the one we have here. It's going to give you information. Actually, even gives you a nice little picture of the quartz movement in there. It is a no jewel movement. I was surprised to see that. I thought maybe we would see some jewels in there, but it's not a deal breaker for sure. It's a really good looking quartz movement regardless. And then of course you can see there's more going on there with the chronograph version. And then on the back side of this, you're going to have some simple setting instructions. So if you are interested in that type of information, I'm not going to cover it with you, but you can pause the video right now and read it. Or you can go online, I'm sure there's information there, or there's videos showing all that information. There's tons of other things that are happening with this watch that I didn't cover. I don't cover everything, but I cover what I want to cover. So anyway, see you on the next vid, guys.